If you can't afford to live in an apartment by yourself and pay rent by yourself, you should not move in with your boyfriend, okay? Because you're going to be in a relationship with him and you're not going to want to be in it anymore, but you're not going to break up with him because you have an apartment. You just moved out of your parents' house and you don't want to go back home because that's embarrassing. So you're just going to prolong this terrible, terrible relationship when you would have been out if you could have paid for rent by yourself and lived by yourself, but you couldn't. Like, just don't do that to yourself. Just don't move in if you can't afford rent by yourself. Just wait a little bit, get a little money, and then move out.
If I could give advice to people about living with your significant other, I would say don't do it. Don't have your living situation more permanent than the state of your relationship, because your relationship could end with 2 words: we're over. And your lease, you'll be stuck with that until it's over, and then you'll probably have to move, and it's not worth it. Divvy up the chores before you move in together. And then they're going to try to pull some, oh, we'll just figure it out as we go along. Like, I'll just do it as I see things. That's not going to happen. Because you know what? You're going to end up doing everything and you're going to be frustrated. Divvy up the chores. Trust. Don't forget date nights. I swear, just because you live together does not mean you shouldn't get dressed and go out and do something fancy. Don't text each other or call each other throughout the day, unless it's an emergency. But don't do it. Save it for when you guys see each other. Have hobbies outside of the relationship, and do not forget your friends. I'm going to say it again. Don't forget your friends, because your friends are going to be the only other people you're going to see outside of your boyfriend. You don't want to be the person whose only friend is your boyfriend because you live with them. This is my opinion, but cook together. I swear it makes the world of a difference, and it's not like you're doing the whole cooking. Make sure you're both doing chores. Just because they were supposed to do it doesn't mean you can't thank them. If they did the dishes, thank them. I would suggest doing a hobby together. Not everything needs to be a conversation and not everything needs to be an argument. Trust me on that. Save your energy. Before you open your mouth and confront the other person about anything, ask yourself, is this how I would want to be spoken to? Don't go to bed angry. Play music, dance around, laugh.
I recommended not to live with a man before marriage, and this question really fascinated me, so I need to go upstairs, but I need to talk about it real quick. This lady says, makes sense not to live with a man, but aren't men checking you out before to see if you're marriage material, basically how you are to live with? The reality is there is a book called Fair Play by Eve Rodsky. I will link it in my Amazon book list, which is in my bio if you're interested. It says that after you live with your partner, even if you were equal and everything was great and you were the best housewifey, whatever, after you have children, everything shifts. Men drop their load of how much they do by huge amounts of percents. You can check it out in that book. And even men who think they don't do, which is fine by me, by the way. But my point isn't how much men do or don't do. My point is, if they're trying to check you out about how you are to live with, everything's going to shift when you have children anyway. So my answer to this wonderful lady is, how much should you advertise of how good of a housewife you are to a man? Maybe you should have all his children as well, and maybe grow old with him, because everything shifts throughout life. So my advice stands that if you want marriage and if you want children, then you shouldn't live with him until he's committed to do that with you. If you just want an equal partnership, dinks, double income, no kids, and you just want a partnership, live with him on the first day if you want to. That's totally up to you. But my advice is for women who want to get married and have children, that you don't need to live with him to advertise how you're going to be, because everything shifts anyway. You need to adjust.
Do not move in with him. Take it from me, do not move in with him. Please, ladies, if you've never lived alone and had your own apartment, do not move in with a guy. If you've only been dating for less than a year or two, do not move in with him. Like, these men are so different once you're behind closed doors with them. It's insane. It's like they have like this complete switch once they get comfortable, a different level of comfortable with you. Do not move in with him. If you're in your early 20s, enjoy your early 20s. You have the rest of your life to move in with a man. Do not do it now.
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So in today's video series, we are talking about why you should not move in with your boyfriend. It's a big decision, and while it might seem like the natural step in a relationship, there are some critical things to consider before taking this stage. Let's talk about why you might not want to think twice before moving in together. One of the biggest reasons why people move in with their partners is a sense of security it provides. It feels like a step forward, a more committed relationship. However, sis, this can sometimes be an illusion. Just because you live together doesn't mean your relationship is stable, okay? In fact, cohabitation can sometimes put more strain on a relationship because you are exposed to each other's habits, okay, and routines 24/7. You might find that the person you love is very different when you are sharing a space daily together, and that can be a deal breaker for some of the people. Money is often a huge stressor in a relationship, and when you move in together, your finances inevitably become more intertwined. You might share rent, bills, groceries, and other expenses. But what happens if the relationship doesn't work out? Okay, so your finances can be messy and stressful. It's important to ensure that you're financially independent before making the move, so you're not left in a difficult situation if things go south. Moving in together can sometimes create a sense of premature commitment. You might feel pressured to stay in the relationship because of the shared lease, the thought of moving out again, or just the fact that you're living together. So guys, this can lead to staying in a relationship longer than you should, simply because it's convenient or because you feel guilty for wanting to leave the relationship. Ladies, it's crucial to make sure your relationship is solid and that you're moving in for the right reasons, not because it feels like the next step. Okay, another important factor is to consider the loss of personal space and independency. When you live with someone, it's easy to lose sight of your own needs and desires. Your home becomes a shared space, and finding time for yourself can become a challenge. This loss of independence can lead to feelings of resentment over time every day. Before moving in, ask yourself if you're truly ready to share your space, and if you're comfortable with the challenges that will come with it. So moving in together can be fundamentally change the dynamic of your relationship. The honeymoon phase might fade quicker than you ever expected when you're dealing with the day-to-day realities of living together. Conflicts can rise over time, things like chores, schedules, or even how you spend your free time. It's essential to communicate openly about expectations and boundaries before you are making the decisions to move in together. So should you move in with your boyfriend? The answer is not a simple yes or no. It depends on your relationship and whether both of you are truly ready for the challenges that living together can bring. Take the time to have a deep thinking, sometimes uncomfortable conversations before making such a significant decision. It's better to be curious and more than to rush into something that could strain your relationship. Okay, so we've seen like people have moved together and it didn't go well. So one time my neighbor used to live with a certain lady. Okay, so they lived together for 3 years. So we just saw that the lady disappeared. So after a month, we saw this man marrying another woman. So I was like, what? This woman stayed here for 3 good years and she went with nothing home, only her clothes. But just 1 month later, this man finds another woman to marry. So like I got so really disturbed, guys. Like, what's really happening? What's this? I didn't know what to think about and all that. So when this woman contacted, because we had a little bit of friendship, she contacted me and explained everything. She had a lot of problems with this man. Like, she said she regret living waste her 3 years there, but she's ready to start afresh and everything. So it was so shocking, and I was like, okay, never trust a man, guys. Oh, they can do anything, of course. So thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe and see you in the next episode.